So Revenue Forum is a non-profit initiative started by me, Annemarie Gubanski, in 2008. In this Revenue Forum episode, we will talk about Metasearch and how to increase direct revenue. Our expert panel consists of 4 expert speakers and myself, and we will get 5 minutes to talk. Furthermore, we will be joined by a special guest. This time we invited Dado Ljumanovic from Circle Collection to give us his insights. We will use a Pecha Kucha format, which means that the presentation slides automatically change after 20 seconds. And it's the first time we do this. Wish us all luck.
Hi, everybody. Michael from SiteMinder here, and I'm going to be discussing the importance of Metasearch in your distribution strategy today.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and thanks, Annemarie. My name is Pau Siquier, and I'm the Digital Marketing Director at Mirai. We are a company that helps hoteliers to improve direct sales.
Thank you for that, Pau. Hi, everyone. So I'm Christophe from Wihp Hotels. We do provide Meta.io turnkey meta search solution, and I will go over the key metrics to follow on meta search to increase your direct revenue.
Yeah, hello, my name is Pohl from Nextguest, and I'm a Director of CRM Consulting for Nextguest, and I'd like to talk today about how CRM and real-time intent data can help you to increase your direct revenue with Metasearch.
My name is Annemarie Gubanski. I will try to take the independent hotels view and try to explain how to increase direct revenue by choosing the right platform and strategy.
Hi all, my name is Dado Ljumanovic. I'm from Circle Collection and I'm Group Director Digital Media and CRM, and I'm going to talk how we see Metasearch nowadays.
Thank you all. So up to the first speaker.
Yeah, hi everybody. Annemarie, if you would like to just maybe kick me off on the slides, I'll do a brief introduction. And again, yes, anyway, as I said before, I work with SiteMinder. SiteMinder is a hospitality technology company. We do quite a bit in the sector with regards to channel management, website booking engines. In some cases, we can even do the website. And today, I'm just going to discuss ways in which we're working with the channels, Metasearch in general. There are different types of channels. Of course, meta channels include the likes of Google, Trivago, who serve as an aggregate for rates for your property from OTAs and ideally your own website. And the OTAs are the online travel agents that contract with you to help you sell your rooms. GDS is for the corporate market, and of course, Brand Direct is your own website. And why is Metasearch an important part of your strategy? It's popular among travelers as a place where they can easily find and compare your rates from different OTAs. It's neutral and transparent. They're gaining ground on OTAs and are winning popularity among travelers and hotel guests thanks to objective positioning. And on the third point, it's easier for travelers to find you. Consider Metasearch another touch point, a popular one for guests to find your hotel, which is good. From what we've seen, the gold standard is to have about 5 channels at a minimum to achieve around 2.5 times more reservations. More channels equals more bookings, more visibility, and that billboard effect, resulting in more direct bookings. Travelers have become a lot more savvy when it comes to making online reservations, looking for the best deal across various avenues. So a Metasearch site is definitely one of the quote unquote right channels to get your properties across, I would say. And according to this table, it shows where travelers initiated their booking research in relation to where they ultimately booked their stay across OTAs, Metasearch, and ultimately the website. There are a few key things to note from these findings, particularly the percent of reservations completed, where they started and where it ended up. OTAs, 44% of those will complete the booking there, but 34% go to the supplier. And Meta, you can see the correlation there where 42% are booked on there from the OTAs, Metasearch Direct, 33% with the supplier. So it's interesting stuff. Moving right along, through instant booking on the Metasearch sites, guests can book without being redirected. And that's very important because they can become confused when they have to go to different sites. And sometimes they'll abandon the booking entirely. So you want that seamless booking experience on a Metasearch site to make it easier for your guests to find your hotel and book the rooms they want for the dates that they want. And ultimately, they're looking for that seamless experience. You want to focus on sites with an accommodation-only slant. So that's what we mean by choose the right sites. Combined platforms are less successful in providing hotels a high share of the top ad placements. So you want to focus on those with an instant booking option like TripAdvisor or Google. And then going back to the table here, you can see that when travelers initiate their research on Metasearch sites, there's a fairly even split between where they ultimately make their booking. And this is, it's positive for hoteliers because it's going to help you leverage Metasearch sites as a way to bolster direct bookings. That table was showing that 24% that started on Meta ended up booking through the supplier. So that kind of gives you a little bit of background as to why it's important to book or to list on the Metasearch site. Yep, just moving right along. Listen, the numbers indicate that the billboard effect created by working with Metasearch sites equals more direct bookings. So when customers go to your website, having found you on a Metasearch channel, you'll want to ensure a seamless customer experience. Features like having your website resized to fit the device on which they're viewing your website, that's a big help. Okay, and then you'll also want to, the clear health and safety information is crucial now more than ever, as you can appreciate. So keep this updated on your site to more easily convert them to direct reservations once they are directed there. And once they're on your website, you can offer them additional perks or extras to book with you direct. And you can also take that opportunity to set an expectation of excellent service on arrival. Really, what you want to do in that instance is just focus on building your brand. Okay, and all of this coming through the billboard effect generated from, or in large part generated from your listing on Metasearch sites. Listen, with that, I just want to summarize and say that they are key in boosting the visibility of your property online, where many, if not most people, are making reservations these days. And they're not only a good producer of bookings for your hotel, but a high producer of direct bookings for your hotel. Once again, I'm Michael. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Annemarie. I'd like to now hand it over to my colleague, Pau, to discuss his topic from Mirai webinars. Thank you, Pau.
So the world of meta search engines, for us, is exciting. They provide a major opportunity to hotels to compete with OTAs, and they are growing year on year, especially Google Hotel Ads, which is the leader among meta search engines. And that's why we're going to talk about some best practices to get the most of it. So even during this terrible year for the whole industry, meta search has been essential for hoteliers to keep some digital activity running under commission models and increasing market share from traditional ads, as Google gives more visibility to Hotel Ads module in the search results page. So as an hotelier, participating in Google Hotel Ads should not be a question anymore. OTAs are bidding on your hotel, so you will be there too. And Google make easy to participate with different bidding models to minimize risk and control the ROI. But you need a great integration partner that understand how it works. The idea is that we walk through best practices that you should demand to your integration partner. And obviously, the more you have, the better performance you'll be. But there are many features that some integration partners neglect, making hotels losing opportunities. So here's the first one. Show all rooms and rate types, very important feature. With more options, you will increase the possibility to upsell better rooms. And if you display pictures of your rooms will be brighter and more attractive to a user. And you will also cover more space than the OTAs. Let's continue with attributes. Google allows you to highlight the most important attributes of your rooms and rates, and it helps to take better decisions, resulting in higher conversion. The most important attributes are cancellation policy, meal plans, and some services like free Wi-Fi, for instance. Then we go to the occupancies. This is feature highly relevant. According to our data, about 29% of the booked room nights have occupancies different than 2. It means that if you display additional occupancies, you'll have extra opportunities to grow your business. So let's move to brand logo. If you have a strong brand, you should customize your logo on Google Hotel Ads. It reinforces the message that clients are dealing with the direct channel and not with the OTA. We also encourage you to use specific callouts that highlight that the booking direct is best. And then I think that you should consider also offering better price for some specific countries where your brand is not popular and OTAs are very strong. And if this is your case, you want to correctly show these rates in Google Ads too. So this is something that you should consider, and we highly recommend it. Participation models, CPC, commission per conversion, or commission per stay. Each participation model offers pros and cons. But the thing here is if you have the three options available or not. For instance, commission per stay is a great way to be in hotel ads during this uncertain time with no risk for the hotel. Audiences. Audiences is one of the most advanced features in Google Hotel Ads to play with. Very interesting one. If you segment your clients in different audiences, you will be able to bid more aggressively to get highly qualified users. And obviously technical factors. Google is always looking for excellence. This means that it's not just about what the users see. What is behind the scenes also matters. And we suggest to keep in mind certain variables to guarantee an optimal technical integration. For instance, price accuracy, full availability, or time to response are very important factors. And for international travelers, it is highly inconvenient to land on a hotel website where the booking engine shows a different currency and taxes that they had previously seen in hotel ads. So this is one of the major challenges for the hoteliers, and you should have it properly solved with your integration partner. Concluding, Metasearch is here to stay and will be crucial when the demand starts to grow. And Google Hotel Ads is very powerful, but it's also very complex. And remember that power is nothing without control. So check your current integration and do not lose any business opportunity. At Mirai, we are proud about our integration Google Hotel Ads and committed to keeping it constantly fine-tuned. And that's all. Thank you very much. Just wanted to say that at Mirai, we also have a blog where we share the most updated and informative content about the world of direct bookings. So if you are interested, just follow us. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for joining. So in order to introduce Wihp, we are a marketing agency. We are specialized in the hospitality. We do currently connect 7,000 hotels and have 4 offices in Tampa and 3 offices in Europe with clients all over the world on 108 countries. We do provide Metasearch solution with Meta.io, which is a turnkey solution. Also provide websites and ads global to increase direct revenue for our hotels. And I'm taking care of sales and marketing. So today we're gonna speak about meta searches, and topic we will go over on my side will be the key metrics to follow on meta search to increase your direct revenue. So basically there is 3 pillars today on meta search, which are the distribution, management, and the connectivity. So today I will detail all the KPIs you have to follow to make sure your connectivity is good, to make sure your management is visible, and all the KPIs to make sure the distribution is working well. So why connectivity? A good connectivity ensures you that all your rates and availabilities are received and accessible for each meta search. It's very important for your meta search distribution to make sure your connectivity and all meta search have access to all your rate plan. It will increase drastically your visibility on meta search. So the KPI to follow on Google Hotel Ads is the participation rate. The participation rate is the number of time your hotels has availability sent to Google. So basically the number of time your connectivity partner is sending availabilities. So this is on Google Hotel Ads, and on TripAdvisor and Trivago, it's the other way around with not available rates. So on TripAdvisor and Trivago, you have the indication on the number of time you did not send rates, or it was timeout due to the too slow API answer. So this is very important for you to look at. When it comes to management at Wihp, we believe that you must be visible 100% of the time. It's very important because it's very qualified traffic. So this is what we need to target on your key markets. So to follow this visibility, what you can look at in terms of KPIs on Google Hotel Ads is the impression share. Impression share gives you the exact details on how many times a user has been seeing your ads. So your ads is shown, you have the impression share at 100%. So this is what you need to follow. You don't have this metrics on all the Metasearch, and on Trivago, you have it, but it's called the outbid ratio, which is a slightly difference, where you have the number of times your CPC is not high enough to be displayed, so you need to increase it. So this is basically the key metrics you have to follow for the management. When it comes to distribution, price competitiveness is key. You must have at least rate parity, and having a best deal will drastically help you to increase your revenue and return of investment. So today you can check this information directly on the Meta.io and Metasearch interface. The data and KPI you must follow on Google Hotel Ads is the price buckets. Price bucket gives you information about is it tied or lowest price, or you are not the lowest. So basically you have the key information on your price competitiveness on this specific channel. In TripAdvisor and Trivago, you have what we call the MBL metrics based on the reports, where you have the exact details on when you have a better rates, parity rate, or when you are selling more expensive. So as a takeaway, what I wanted to share with you today is make sure your inventory is sent as fast and as accurately as possible. Make sure your visibility is high with the KPI I mentioned on your key markets, and control your pricing policy is also something that will make a true difference in terms of return of investments. So thank you for being here. At Wihp, we definitely help hoteliers to increase their direct booking, and Meta.io and Metasearch is definitely one of the strongest channels you can have on the sales acquisition. Thank you. So now I'm gonna let the speakers go ahead.
Today, I like to talk about how real-time and CRM data can help you bid for the right audience on Metasearch to increase your direct revenue. When the next slide comes. I thought we have only, okay, here we are. So Nextguest, what does it stand for? Nextguest stands for a fully integrated guest engagement, acquisition, retention, and marketing platform. We deliver services in digital marketing, like website development, SEO, SEM, and for sure Metasearch, guest communications, B2C and B2B CRM suites, as well as CRM and digital marketing consulting. Our strong belief is that all activities and actions along the guest journey should be based on a deep guest knowledge. That's why we build and base all our products and services around data. No matter if we talk about services to acquire new guests or services to retain past guests, data is the key to increase your direct revenue. But let me first give you our view on Metasearch. Metasearch platforms can seamlessly provide online travel shoppers with real-time pricing and availability throughout key touchpoints in the travel planning journey. An effective and strategic use of your budget is key here to be successful without your direct booking strategy. These are the 4 benefits of Metasearch from our perspective. With Metasearch, you can build brand presence on your key travel engines. Try to win the higher quality guests in our direct channel. Take back the customer relationship from the OTA. And last but not least, point 4, increase your direct revenue. Yeah, and how can CRM and real-time intent data help you? CRM is not only a software, it's a philosophy to strengthen the guest relationship. The goal is to put the guest at the center of all activities based on a maximum of personalization. And CRM helps you to build personas for Metasearch. But a 360-degree view on the guest in our digital world can no longer be based only on historical data, but must also consider real-time intent data. And that's what we bring together in our CRM solutions to optimize the targeting of your best guests. And here you can see in an abstract way which kind of data is available in a CRM solution, mainly coming from the PMS solution, but also from other third-party solutions like golf software, spa software, etc. So you have a clear view, a 360-degree view on the personal data and the behavioral data. This is a screenshot, by the way, of the solution. And here we bring the past data, the historical data, and the intent data together in the guest profile. And this data can be used to build personas for your Metasearch activities. What we do in addition is social demographic behavioral descriptions. We do mathematical scorings to target your guests even better. Here's an example of RFM guest value segmentation, which describes each guest by its value and puts each guest into one guest value segment, which you can also use for your digital marketing activities. And there's a second thing we could use to optimize the effect of digital marketing and Metasearch. We can use a guest scoring, which considers the real-time intent, what a guest is doing on your website, what a guest is doing on other channels. We collect this data, tracking this by a cookie, and use it for customer targeting. Why, with real-time intent targeting, hotels can leverage the high-performing audiences in SEM campaigns to reach the same user across multiple touchpoints, and can leverage to increase the bid for relevant audiences. Last but not least, there are three, let's say, steps to optimize your Metasearch and SEM activities. Step one is know your customer personas based on the data you have in your system. Two, utilize the customer match in your Metasearch and SEM channels. And last but not least, point three, use segment bidding by RFM and NXG guest scores. And in a nutshell, CRM is not a software, CRM is a philosophy, and it helps you to build the right personas for your products and offers. The combination of past behavioral CRM data and RFM guest value segmentation combined with the real-time intent to book helps you to bid for the right people at the right time. Yeah, and to do, let's say, a conclusion of what I said before. So the better you know your guest and their behavior, including their intent to book, the better you can increase your direct revenue, also via Metasearch. CRM is a key to success. Thank you.
My name is Annemarie Gubanski, and I'm founder and CEO for Taktikon, which is a training and consultancy company offering outsourcing, mentor programs, trainings, and audits. Our company also offers technology such as a revenue management system, as well as a fantastic distribution platform powered by Windsurfer. So COVID-19 really means that we will need to do a Ctrl-Alt-Delete on whatever we have done previously. As times have completely changed, we need to completely change our strategies. We revenue managers can no longer be the nerdy analysts. We need to be the nerdy analysts with ideas. Now, when it comes to distribution strategies and Metasearch, we generally see that the chains are really working professionally with these and have acquired help from experts such as companies represented in this webinar, but also hired them themselves. Generally speaking, independent hotels, especially the privately owned, are still struggling with this. Now, working with Metasearch is not simply a matter of connecting to the matters and wait for something to happen. It's good to have a fair understanding of what you are going to do. You need to have your distribution platform in order and preferably an expert who can help you make the best out of it. Distribution is basically a jungle of distribution channels working with and against each other. And for many independent hotels, not really the thing they love to focus on most. Generally speaking, their intent to own a hotel is to make a guest happy. And here's also where their focus lies, with the guest. Furthermore, they simply do not have time to focus on this. This is why we teamed up with Windsurfer so that we can become the independent hotels distribution department. But it's also a technical question where you need to make sure that your systems work seamlessly together. Otherwise, you will not be able to control your rate, and Metasearch is all about rate comparisons. That's what they're there for, right? Helping our guests to find the lowest rate. Ever since the start of the pandemic, we've seen that direct revenue is increasing. Booking and Expedia both have very beneficial loyalty programs, and we have very loyal groups of users, though they are losing ground to the hotel's own website, especially to our leisure-oriented hotels. Now, when it comes to websites, it's important to understand that you need to focus on what our guests want to know about us, not what we would like our guests to know about us. Guests want to be inspired, and of course, you need to have an excellent booking engine enabling you to offer the best rate and show fantastic packages. And it is the packages that are being booked right now. Reason is probably the rise of staycations, where our guests take short breaks, and for these, packages are exactly right. Do be careful not to overpackage. Make one and use add-ons in order for your guests to adapt them to your needs. But will only leisure guests survive? No, of course not. There's a very broad spectrum of travelers, and for that we need a very broad spectrum of hotels. Not all hotels can be boutique hotels with spa, restaurants, and other facilities. But you need to focus on your market segmentation and understand who is still interested to visit your hotel. So make sure that you have your market segmentation in order. Who is staying at your hotel? Where do they come from? What are they interested in? And how can I make sure that they find me? Knowing that helps you to find the optimal distribution strategy, as you will understand which channels to use and the information needed on these channels. So what have our friends the OTAs been up to lately? Well, they are struggling as much as the rest of the hospitality industry is doing. And that is logical. At this moment, OTAs are doing exactly what we want them to do. They distribute rates and availability all over the world. No more angry emails regarding rate parities or other things that irritate them. And for us, this actually is a very good thing, as we always have been looking for better cooperation with our distribution partners. When it comes to our outsourcing projects, the main of our European customers are independent hotels, and for them, the cooperation with the OTAs is extremely vital. Finally, we feel that we are working together with and not against each other. So my key takeaways. Take this time to prepare for the future and dare to think differently. Test new things, and for some of you, Metasearch is part of that. Know your customers, where they live, what their interest is, and where you might want to find them. Have an inspiring website and invest in good booking engine. Make sure you have a solid distribution platform which works seamlessly with all your systems so you can control your rates. And let me take the opportunity to close my presentation off and go to our guest speaker. Our guest speaker for today is Dado. And Dado, maybe when I look at your find your presentation, you might start with introducing yourself a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, Annemarie, thanks for having me in this great session with all these amazing speakers I know from the past or just met. My name is Dado Ljumanovic. I'm a group director for digital media and CRM at the Circle Collection. And today I'm gonna speak as a user of Metasearch platform and how we see Metasearch nowadays.
Yeah. I have a bit of an issue finding yours. Hold on.
No worries. Also good for the people who are attending this webinar. Annemarie and I had a great interview, and based on that interview, we have set up a few questions Annemarie had for me. So all these questions I will read for you also out loud in my presentation. And then, of course, I'm looking forward to the Q&A session as well.
And it's coming in a minute. It's
all right.
Hey.
Let's start the show.
Okay. So I have the presentation. If you're ready, I'll just push it off.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. So Metasearch nowadays. So I'm happy to be here to talk with you guys how we approach the Metasearch. As probably as you all know, we have as everyone else a different point of view on it. So I'm looking forward to speak about it and share my knowledge on it. So, But first, I want to start a little bit about Circle Collection. So Circle Collection, amazing company I work for, started in 2011 with just one hotel in Amsterdam, and now fast growing already. In 2020, we have 13 hotels and more to come. But also besides that, we also have around 26 restaurants and bars, some special cool projects like our own, oh, flying fast, design concept store. And something about me, but we'll do that later. So how do I work and with which sites? So before entering this one, I really want to stand still about the traveler's path purchase, which is the slide coming next soon. And so what we have done, and based on our own data and benchmark data, we have seen pre-corona time, of course, that the people were looking actually for the next trip around 20 weeks before actually they book. During that period, they see more than 34 different travel sites, lots of pages of content. Oh, it's flying really fast. And then, Annemarie, is it possible that I go one slide back? Because it's really important one. And over here, what we recognize before we stop into the meta search world, that we see different landscapes. And these landscapes we divided in organic landscapes, OTAs, meta channels, and of course, organic again, which leads back to the brand websites. Thanks again, Marie. Let's continue.
I think now it goes automatic.
Yeah, cool. So the first one I want to talk about is actually the organic landscape. So organic landscape, we see, of course, from our perspective, divided in 4 big players over there, which is Google, Bing, Baidu, and Yandex. But I want to stand still, especially in front of the first 2, because for us, how we look from it and how we use the meta search, why it's important is from the data feed. Where do they get the prices, the images, the rates, the reviews? And you can see it very clearly over there that the big OTAs are feeding it. So actually all those big OTAs over there actually are part of the big corporate partner groups like Expedia Group and Booking Holdings. As you can see here highlighted, they also acquired or affiliated with certain meta search channels, such as Trivago for Expedia or Kayak for Booking Holdings. It's very important to know this one because in the meta search landscape, we divided and conquer our world from the Circle Collection for 4 different markets, which we divided in Europe, North America, South America, and Asia. And with this illustration, we clearly want to show you like how we adjust our strategies for every single meta search channel based on a pricing and what we just offered you. So it's actually a chess game. Why? Because you have a confrontation between a business model. Of course, we want to have the revenue over here in-house, but also the guest phase is a guest are. As you can see clearly over here in all the 6 steps, meta search is involved over there and has a huge impact on it, no matter if people are making booking or not. So I love this question actually, because I think everyone has a different opinion on it. So what did you think you do differently from others? So yeah, to jump into this one, it was actually about slide. So I'm a huge passionate fan about data and digital marketing, especially in hospitality. So we analyze a lot, really a lot. My team can justify that. So we look at from the website perspective, and Michael also mentioned it great from the billboard effect. We measure it all. If we want to make sure from all those points the guys have mentioned before, that we secure the top placements for our meta search, no matter how, because we don't see just the meta search as a revenue stream, but also as a brand awareness program. Partnerships, yeah, it's a big word, but we always stand still with this one because we choose them carefully. It's not about having the Rolls Royce of all the systems, but the one who can serve you well with a great market, flexibility of the platform, and most important one for me, the willing to innovate. And then of course, before we go live, there are a few checkpoints over there, but for me, the most important one is to have the pricing and availability set. We measure all the spends and clicks and how booking ratios are inverting there. And of course, keeping it consistent with the OTAs. And don't forget the online reviews, and they have the huge impact on the algorithm. Once we are there, we keep doing the same stuff, but you need to know your audiences. So for example, this is one of our brands. We made it like special dedicated booking engines, which can only be entered from the meta search site. And we aligned all our room names and inventories and rate plans just to be fair and equal, create equal play with the big OTAs. So what's new in the market? I think the guys have said a lot. So what I see it's an interesting shift, which is happening at the moment now. And that's going to come in the next slide, which is, for example, from Expedia. So we all know Expedia is a huge OTA with huge affiliate network. and they just launched a new product, which is Expedia Travel Ads Direct, which is, I call it the same meta search. Nowadays, people are able to book directly from Expedia on the brand website. So also here, we want to create a seamless guest journey experience and make those people convert, creating the high ROI and low cost. And of course, lots has been said about this one, book direct on Google. Yeah, I see a huge opportunity over here, especially for the mobile bookings. And of course, every hotel groups is struggling in that one, especially the last minute bookings. But also here, we need to see what kind of a great success is going to be from here, because we all know book on TripAdvisor direct. This has been for a while over here. And so far, we haven't seen the great stories about it, especially because if they have those mixed combinations with Booking.com and other major OTAs paying for it. So actually, that's my presentation for you guys over here. I want to thank everyone for your attention. If it went too fast, I'm also sorry for that one, but I hope you got a picture how we at the Circle Collection do see this. And looking forward to hear your questions. And don't forget to visit our website to check out amazing brands.
Thank you so much, Dado, for your presentation.
No worries.
Let me see if I can have this last presentation up when we go into our discussion forum. Right now, I would like to ask all the panelists and all the experts to unmute, and let's see if we can have maybe a discussion forum. Now, you ended your speech, Dado, with the future of Metasearch. You talk about like book direct on Expedia, book direct on Google. Does anybody know? I mean, there's a lot of talk about what are the next steps for Google. Does anybody can give a wild guess of where are they going to?
Yeah, it seems like they are working hard on their back end with more offerings for hotels to help boost. I mean, they've come a long ways already, and I think we had an internal discussion about this a moment ago about how the boost in Meta over the course of the last few years has gone up significantly. And I think that, you know, they're just marking the trends. A lot more people are making reservations online, and they want to be part of that. So as they're working with OTAs to aggregate all these different rates for people to book, they also realize hotels are trying to connect to them directly. So I believe they're going to probably make things a lot more seamless and working directly with hotels. And this is just me speculating on that. Mm-hmm. I believe we're going to be working harder directly with hotels. I think that they'll probably build out an infrastructure to support that, where before you had to be a massive group or chain to work directly with them. And I think that we're going to see a lot more of that happening as tech companies are also developing more ways to connect hotels to Google.
Mm. I can agree also with Michael from this perspective, because, for example, we, as a user, of course, of the Metasearch and following developments, how we also adjust ourselves in our strategies, we also see that, for example, I mentioned it, what's very important for the Metasearch is the online rankings are very, very important, because they also do affect the algorithms and how your bids are going to influence your rankings as well, with the rate parity and all this kind of stuff. And what I think with the Google wants to achieve with it more, it's that seamless experience, like what they also create with the reviews. We have, for example, see the huge increase on reviews coming from Google. It's like almost hitting the 40% more if we compare it when we were looking into like 2017 or 18. So I think that they're going to do the great way. The only concern from my part, for me as a user, is yes, it's a great tool, as I mentioned, for the brand awareness, but if they still land on your website, however, if they keep it all within the same platform, then it's going to be very hard from us as hoteliers to differentiate our brands among all the other ones over there.
From my point of view, I think that Google is going to change the rules of the game, because they want to be a major partner in travel industry. And I think that they also have a focus to help users and make life easier for the users, trying to connect not just the not just facilitate hotels to be connected, also try to help users to get this connection, to try to, as I said, make life easier for them. And the thing is that they are the gateway to internet, so they have everything in there. So I think that the future goes to this way.
And if I might add something here on Google, it's we have seen it in 2020 since they launched early this year. Sorry, in 2019 they launched Google Travel, which has a huge impact in terms of where they have an impact on the buying journey of the users, because usually they were like 100% brand protection at the very end of the purchasing journey. And now, since at this switch, adding new filters, we can see more incremental revenue coming directly from Google Travel as well. So definitely are playing this game between evolving as an online travel agency with new business model, but still remaining the first jobs that they provide, meaning providing the best answer to the user. So working on both sides.
Okay. So we got a question from one of our participants. What are your thoughts on Meta as being a channel shift rather than generating true new business? Because it doesn't really generate anything new. It's just like a channel shift from the OTAs to anything else. Is this a good thing?
For example, from my point of view, we are trying to improve channel sales from hotels. So if we can take back this sales to the direct channel, and if you get a better ROI versus the commission that you have to pay, I think that it's a good option. Obviously, not always, because probably you need help and support from OTAs on certain markets where you are not strong. Obviously, you can also use Book on Google, but I think that you try to balance. But if it's, for example, your domestic country where your brand is well known and you have the opportunity to go to this user, and Metasearch can help to do that, I think that it's a good option for hoteliers.
Yeah, off the back of that, I'd like to agree with Pau as well. I think for the time being, it's good. Just because it'll be another outlet. We talk a lot about like that billboard effect and driving more traffic to the hotel. Any exposure is good exposure to cultivate the bookings, but also, you know, some offerings will be pitched towards different verticals or different types of guests, where you know, the majority of a luxury hotel's boutique offering might be best placed for higher yielding guests on some extranets, whereas Google is kind of like the everyman's channel. You know, it's people going on there trying to find the best rate for the best dates and things like that. So I think that whilst Metasearch is amazing in that space to get your rate in front of as many people as possible, I do think that hoteliers also still have to keep paying attention to the right channels for the business or the higher yielding guests. I don't think that'll ever really go away.
And also to connect, I mean, is it a true new business or shift? I think from, again, from a user perspective, and as we use the CRM, of course, and Frank will also probably agree on it. I mean, every booking coming directly through your booking engine, it gives you better profiles, it gives you better audiences you can later correlate with and make better strategy conclusions later on, also for the Metasearch, but also all other channels. So yeah, maybe it's not really the new business, but it's really giving you more the inside information on actually who is booking at your hotel than if you get a booking through booking.com, where you have those encrypted email addresses and yeah, very few details left which are available for you.
And I agree, absolutely agree with Dado. I mean, the Metasearch is a kind of, let's say, competition to booking. And for us as hoteliers, the chance to get the customer in our direct booking channel, or to even to get past guests who have booked before with us direct and now booked via booking with the next booking, to get them also back to the direct channel. So for me, it's more a chance instead of competition.
Yeah.
actually,
and last point, if I can add something, Annemarie, on this, just in terms of revenue, this is a huge shift on the Metasearch side. We have seen now new advertising model on Metasearch with a sponsor placement on TripAdvisor, also on Trivago, and property promotion ads, where basically Metasearch help hotels to promote themselves into the destination page, which will definitely bring more additional visibility and guests to specific hotels.
Probably new business, right,
Yeah,
Christophe?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love also that you talk about what I find important about direct reservations, not the fact that it might be cheaper or anything, because that doesn't really have to be the point. It also costs money to promote your own website. You need to have a good one, for instance. But then, yeah, it gives you very good data. It gives you another opportunity to market yourself. So I really like that. But how nervous do you think the OTAs are at the moment? Apart from, okay, they are nervous because there's a COVID-19 a pandemic going on, how nervous do you think they are? How do you think that they look at the metas right now? Is it a threat?
Well, I think, in my opinion, I think that, of course, under the current circumstances, it's kind of added that urgency, hasn't it? Where before there was maybe not so much even playing field, but there was market share there for a lot of travel sites to come up and say, look, here's our unique selling point to help market your hotel on our site. Whereas now, under the current circumstances, a lot of these didn't have a business model that would be sustainable through a crisis like this. So you have to be a large company. You have to be somebody that has a large affiliate network to really, and this is just me speaking here, but I mean, I feel that you do have to be a large company with an affiliate network to help you weather situations like this and keep your distribution network open and broad. Whereas Meta, companies like Google, they don't just rely on hotels to stay open. They don't just rely on those things. So they have the resources to funnel into the development of their Metasearch offering in order to stay competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I could imagine that it's maybe kind of love and hate relationship, because OTAs are also on Metasearch, because in a way it's like the perfect ground to get new users that are looking for a trip. So instead of doing display, behavioral targeting or whatever, it's just people that it's already on TripAdvisor, on Trivago, or even on Google Travel, trying to find a hotel. So they have the whole portfolio of hotels in all over the world. So the probability that the user goes to the OTA, it's really high. That's why with the right strategy and with the right technology, you can fight face-to-face with the OTAs just on Metasearch. Is the only channel that can offer this opportunity to the hoteliers. So yeah, from one side, I think that it's an opportunity for the OTAs to get new users, and on the other side, it's also not an opportunity for the hoteliers. So here's where we have the, let's say, fight. I don't like to use this word, but I don't know another one in English. So yeah, love and hate partnership.
Yeah, and also, if you think about it, I also showed it briefly in my slides. It went so fast. So when you know, like the OTA landscape, they also purchase or acquired, certain OTA or meta channels, like, Booking.com owns Kayak, or Expedia owns Trivago. So actually, I agree with Pohl. It's not like that they hate it, whatever. I think the scary part is more for them, like, what's Google gonna do? For example, I think Christophe and his team shared with me in the past that they lower the commission bids. So they make it even more approachable for the standalone hoteliers to join the Metasearch. And that's something which I can assume, or I can see that big OTAs don't really like so much, because now it's like what the mighty Google is going to say about it.
Yeah, and
that's what makes them more nervous.
And the seamless user experience could also be a problem for for Booking.com and other big OTAs, because the experience in Google is really seamless. If you have a Google account, yeah, then everything is already within the Google search platform. And this is for me the real competition between OTA and Google. But the good thing in it is that with Google Ads, we can steer it as hotelier a little bit more where the distribution goes to, and hopefully in the direct channel then, based on the data we have.
Plus also, if you, for example, work with the book direct on Google,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
They are more willing to share the data. So actually you get the full profile from everyone, which makes it for someone like me, very valuable in the future to work with.
Exactly.
So Metasearch is a good thing. But then, I mean, to my point, it is still not very, very easy for the independent hotels to start there. I mean, it's an investment, both in time and knowledge. And as soon, I mean, a lot of these hotels just come to me and say, well, okay, I've been at your webinar, but then every speaker there says, I need to invest, but I don't have any money. So is there any final words? Okay, how can we persuade everybody to work with them?
Yeah, I think that here, Annemarie, is Google and Trivago has also CPA models, and Google has the commission per stay, which you just have to pay after checkout of the guest at the hotel. So it's really interesting. In our case, we shift all the CPC campaigns to commission per stay with the pandemic, because obviously hotels were closed and nobody want to go to a hotel, but you don't want to lose visibility, and probably users are start looking date for the next year. So how can you do that? So this kind of participation model like commission per stay, it's really helpful, and I think that it's a big point from Google, and probably the rest of Metasearch will go for that in the future, because when you have this option on a big one like Google, it's really difficult to find to go back to a CPC if results are okay and you minimize your risk and control the ROI.
Okay, thank you so much. Anybody has something to add?
I was just going to agree with Pau on that, in that, yeah, you really want to find a tech provider or someone you can partner with that can help you with that cost per acquisition model. I think that's the key there. And I'm so sorry, I think I cut off Christophe because he was going to say something.
Yeah, well, kind of the same. Yeah, I was agreeing with Pau about the beauty of the Google Hotel Ads different business model, and the beauty compared to OTAs is you can either pick your commission on pay per stay. So depending on your performance in terms of conversion, you can either sell at 5%, 8%, 10%. So risk-free, very good for the audience.
Thank you for that. I think with that note, we have come to the end of our webinar. Any maybe final words from all our panelists? Let's start maybe with Pau.
To unmute first. So just thank you very much. Happy to be here. And just remember that we help hotels with the direct channel sales, and just follow us on our blog, and you will find, I think, that interesting information about the travel sector.
Thank you. Christophe, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so commercial. Thank you very much for Annemarie, and thank you to every speaker. I think we share very good content, and you can find more about Wihp Hotels and what we do, how we help hotels to bring more revenue on wihphotels.com.
Okay, Frank, do you have anything to say?
Thank you very much also from the Nextguest side. It was an interesting discussion with experts, and hopefully very interesting for the audience. Annemarie, thank you for the speaking slot, and yeah, looking forward and interested what goes on in the Metasearch landscape, especially looking to Google, what's going on there. Thank you, and don't forget to use CRM data to optimize.
Point. Michael?
Yes, thank you, Annemarie, for having me, and I want to thank the other panelists as well, Pau, Christophe, Frank, and it was very, very interesting, very interesting. A lot of good facts and a lot of good takeaways, I think. And Dado with the practical knowledge as well for application, very interesting. We, as part of SiteMinder, we're doing blogs as well around the Metasearch space. So if you want to know more, feel free to go to SiteMinder.com, subscribe to our blog, and we have lots of different tips and tricks to help.
Okay. Dado, our special guest, what would you like to say?
Yeah, thanks again for having me and being surrounded with such a great speakers around me. Most of them I know, but it's always good to see them. Happy to give my input on this subject, and thanks everyone for your attention, and I hope you all stay safe and sound, and hope to speak to you again in the future.
Okay. Then I leave with the final words. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed the webinar. Two key takeaways. You can test how much you want, but then still when you go live, there's something going wrong. And the other thing is, if you wonder why it's so dark, well, I'm in Stockholm and we are getting to the time there where it's getting dark at 3 o'clock. With that, thank you so much. Hope that everybody who listens want to join us on the December webinar as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.